Nice, excellent. All right. We live. Okay. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're here this time to have a chat about business intelligence and understanding the information that's inside the accounting package. For those of you joining online, you're joining us from MYOB's Partner Connect here on the Gold Coast. And this time I've got 3 people on stage with me. So we have Jenny from BI for MYOB, or Business Intelligence for MYOB. We've got Steva from Smart Reports. And we've got Jeff from Accounting Add-ons. So 3 very good different systems that allow us to understand what's in the data. So I'm going to start with Jenny. Can you tell us how much data is hidden inside the accounting information for any given business? And I'll go and stand over here.
Okay. There is a plethora of data hidden inside those MYOB files, be it in the item sales, there's margins by customer, by rep, by state, by postcode, referral source, am I doing a promotion, things like that. Jobs, same thing. Job manager, by profitability, all those sorts of things. Loads of information in there, which business owners need. Often as accountants we don't think about that. As accountants we're often busy with the bank rec, but the business owner needs that information to run their business, and it's all there. It's just getting it is the problem sometimes.
Jeff, would you think that so many business owners just don't have time, don't look into it, and don't even know that that information is available?
The ones that come to us, or how we direct things, is people say, I want this certain information, and I can't get it, and we help them get certain information. So from our point of view, there are lots of people who do want specific little things. And there's a whole range of different things that they come for us to ask for.
Steva, do you think it's common information that people want, or as Jeff was just saying, is it specific stuff that a particular business wants for them?
Even in the same industry, businesses require different information. Right? In our experience, a wholesaler in the wine industry requires different set of information compared to a wholesaler in, say, for example, plumbing products. The plumbing products manager wants to know how much money he's making out of his sales trips around the country, whereas a wine wholesaler, he wants to know how much wine GST amount he needs to pay to the government, and how much he has collected and how much he has to disburse.
But would you not say that every plumber needs the same information / every wine industry or wine? I need more coffee. I can't even say the right words.
They might
will work great. Yes, would want the same information. So every vineyard would want the same sort of reports.
Yes, more or less. Yes, very similar type information.
Right.
But every business has their own nuances. Where they need. We do this differently in our business. That's why we are different to this other plumbing contractor.
Yeah, right.
So we need this bit of information, or we use the identifiers for this purpose, or we use a custom list for this purpose.
Yeah.
So everybody uses MYOB differently.
So you slice it and dice it,
exactly.
Look at it differently. Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jenny, you introduced the term before about accountants, working in a certain space. Is the intelligence layers important for the accountants, or is it really something for the business owners themselves?
Look, I think it's incredibly important for both. And I think where the accountants really can add value is in helping businesses to ask those questions. Because yes, all the wine wholesalers might need the same reports, but often they don't know that they need them. And that's, I think, where the consultants can really say, do you know what your most profitable product range is? Do you know, what that grouping is, retailers versus, wholesalers, whatever that custom list is. Have you even put custom lists in? Most clients I'm talking to haven't even put them in.
Absolutely.
Right,
They
yes.
haven't. They need that consulting to use MYOB smarter, and then once you put that effort in, sometimes you do need an add-on solution to really then take that reporting to another level.
And that's where that expertise of the human touch comes into play, isn't it?
Exactly.
Sitting on top of
Absolutely.
the tools, having those conversations.
Yeah.
Talking of that, Jeff, you and I had a chance to catch up over a beer the other night. You introduced the term around views, and you guys have mentioned reports. For someone like me, who's a bit of a layman, what's the difference? Jeff, what is a view versus a report? Are they the same thing?
Well, what I'm seeing is that when a client comes to us and says, I want a particular report, it might be sort of that similar data, but it might be that our board wants to see the data in this particular order. So you can end up having the same data, but with different orders of columns or different summarized levels. So where you might have one at detail level, another one might be at a summarized level of accounts or summarized level of jobs. So you're basically seeing the same data, but it could be grouped differently, presented differently. A board might just want the high level view, but the managers might want more detailed view, but only for their particular projects.
So that's where it comes back to, again, having these different ways of looking at information to create those conversations around it. See, but is that the sort of thing where people have to come to the likes of you guys and have different views created, or is the person able to do it themselves?
Look, there are certain ways that they can do it. You know, some people want sliced bread, or some people want a bread maker. So
nice analogy.
You know, so we can do both, right? So whatever the customer needs, we can help them. And nowadays, customers are more educated in terms of accessing information from anywhere. And that's where the cloud reporting for Account Right Live is more important. So they could be, you know, nowadays you can access your mobile phone on the plane, and if you have access to the internet, you can look at your information straight jumping onto a cloud and looking at your data immediately. So.
Yeah. So once you've had this sort of view and looking at it, Jenny, what sort of conversations does this create for the business owner with their consultant or their advisor around the future of the business? What types of conversations can the data allow them to have?
There's a couple of things. One is often people don't understand that they can use MYOB to really run quite a complicated business.
Right.
They're not even using jobs. You know, they've got problems and they think they're being hamstrung by the accounting system, but they're not. They're just perhaps not using.
Absolutely.
They're not using jobs. They're not using. You know, we came across a whole. The National Disability Insurance Scheme. We're doing some work and pilots with that.
Yep.
They're going through a major change. A lot of them are using MYOB. They're in that space. They don't even know that MYOB can do a lot of the things that they need to do. They think they've got to replace it. But the consultants, you guys can come in and help them to understand that MYOB can do a lot of these things, can solve a lot of your business issues if you understand what their business issues are.
Yeah. And so by getting into the numbers, you can start to expose those business issues, start to see where it is that they're having frustrations?
Exactly, yeah. By seeing those numbers, I had a client call up the other day saying a consultant had come in and given them a list of all these information they needed. And he said, I've run the reports using your software. Now I've got the answers. I don't even need the consultants. He's asked the right questions.
We still love our consultants.
But he was so excited by seeing information in his own system that he just hadn't seen before because he hadn't looked at it in the right way.
Nice. Jeff, what's the most surprising thing that's come out when you've been talking to customers like that delight, that excitement of someone using your product?
I find that when people get to a certain level, well, first of all, they start with just one thing. Then they go, well, now we've got that. Can you do that? And we go, well, yes, we can. You might need a few changes over here, but yes, we can do that. And then they go, oh, but now we can do that. Can we do this? And it's always, I find it's an incremental thing. As people get used to something, they then generally comes down to a time factor. Like people have got a certain amount of time. They might just be delivering the basics. We can then automate some things. They've got a bit more time, then they can get some extra things. Then they start utilising that or automate certain things, and they go a bit further. So we find that one thing I found is it's an incremental process. People just keep going further and further and further.
Yeah. So is that true as well with the types of information? I mean, I often associate business intelligence and reporting to being really GL type things. What's my profit? What's my loss? What's my those sort of things. But is it more than that? I mean, Account Right does more. So is the conversation expanding as well beyond those?
Look, the reporting can be at many levels. For a business owner, it can be about dollars and cents. Whereas for a project manager, he wants to know, hang on, I have budgeted this much amount for these projects. Am I exceeding the budget or am I under budget? Right? You may be making a bit of profit, the business owner is happy with, but the project may be going in a really bad way. And that's where the consultants can come in and say, look, these are the ways that you can use MYOB job module, where you can use the timesheets and other things that you can track your hours and other things quite effectively. And MYOB has got plenty of reports inside the product itself they can use quite effectively. And when they want to do a bit more slicing and dicing and get a bit more intelligence out of it, the add-ons can definitely help them with that.
Definitely. Excellent. All right. Anyone from the floor got questions for these three while they're on the stage? We've got to have some questions from the floor at some point. Here we go, Mick.
Jeff, I've seen something about you've got some ODBC link to Account Right Live. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Basically, what ODBC Link aims to do is replicate Account Right Live data in a local access database. Why we've done that is to allow consultants and businesses who have created little add-ons using Excel or Access a way of being able to connect to that data without having to have programming language to work out how to get to the API. So, further that, in Excel, there's native tools to be able to connect to a database, but there's no native way to say, go and connect to this API cloud and pull the data in a query. So as custom developers, we had lots of little applications around, and we had to develop this tool for ourselves to use in Excel to be able to get that data. So we pulled it out, packaged it out, and made it available for people to use.
Yeah. Working in Excel, allowing the consultants to have their own ways of viewing data, is that important to you as well, Jen?
Oh, incredibly so. Our software runs in a browser, so it's available to sales reps, to all sorts of people, to get them to be able to access information and then take it out to Excel if they want to manipulate further. Yep. But getting that information directly to people now, they're expecting it.
Absolutely. Whether they run on the cloud or locally, they live and breathe Excel. Right. Excel is the main thing that consultants and the end users depend more on.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Any other questions from anyone down here? No? Anyone going to play golf this afternoon outside? It's a fantastic day, right? I'm looking for other questions. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. It's been really interesting to find out a little bit more about how business intelligence and the data in the accounting can help your business move forward. These three are over in the back corner this way, so go and have a look over there, have a chat to them. And for those of you joining online, directly below are the links through to their add-on pages and such like to find out more information there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will be back here in half an hour for time and attendance side of things. See you then.